Good evening, and welcome to another episode of The Take here on the College Football Mafia Network. I am Moen After Dark, and I'm joined by my co-host Supremes, the Pickles at Arms, Sergeant Pickles, the First Lady of the College Football Mafia, Becky Go Huskies. How are you guys doing this evening?
We're the Conference of Champions, Moen.
It's three. That's right, three.
I mean,
Three
we
in a
have
row.
we have both football national titles this year.
Football, yeah.
Football.
And
Right.
and if any of the SEC fans out there they keep talking about Michigan should vacate, okay, cool, the Huskies will take it. That's fine.
Yeah.
It was still at
It'll
three.
just be it'll still be a Big Ten school.
Yeah.
Yep.
Want to thank everybody for coming on in here tonight. We're going to talk about that fantastic national championship game from Monday night. Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana Hoosiers, just such a great story in college football. We're going to cover Mensah is leaving Duke, and Duke is saying no. Duke is saying no, and we're taking you to court. I don't know that I would want to get in a fight with Duke lawyers, but apparently Mensah is willing to do that. So we will talk about that. We'll also talk about some of the coaching hires and coordinator fills. Gary Patterson looks like he's coming back to DC role at Powerhouse USC. That is going to be a very, very interesting thing, and we're going to discuss that. But let's say hello to some people who rolled in here early tonight. Daniel Gygax is here. He says, good evening. Hi, everyone. Good to see you, Daniel. Sean's here. Good to see you, Sean. We appreciate you coming in. Daniel Gorby here in the house. He's in beautiful Florida where it's nice and sunny and breezy.
I heard that's about to change. Sounds like the South's going to get a little chilly.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that means the North is going to get even chillier. So,
Well, I mean,
It's
they had
beautiful
exploding
today.
Trees. They had
Yeah.
exploding trees from Minnesota, Wisconsin, and parts of Michigan.
yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, when it gets that cold, yeah, it's been cold here. R.I.P. Bill Walton. Yes, Bill Walton
Yep.
passed away.
You know,
That
he
was-
was the greatest spokesman our former conference ever had, so you got to respect the legend.
Sean says it's freezing here in Franklin, Kentucky. Yeah, it's freezing. It's not so bad today. I mean, we've got some snow melt today. I think we maybe hit 35, and it was balmy, and I was walking around without a jacket outside feeding the chickens. But other than that, it has been freezing cold, like sub-zero temperatures, sub-zero wind chills. Like I went to start the car the other day, and the car was just, it gave me that whine, like, dear God, no. That's what it just, you turn the key and it goes, are we sure we want to go out in this weather? It's like, we have to. But let's go ahead. We'll start talking. I think the biggest story of the week, probably the biggest story of the college football season. The Indiana Hoosiers are one-time national champions in college football. Let me repeat that. The Indiana Hoosiers are college football national champions, guys. What do you think? What did you think of the game? Let's start with that. Go ahead, Pickles.
I thought the game was pretty excellent. They were certainly letting him play at points. It felt like there was quite a while I didn't see a flag, which I like. You know, I'm a fan of that as long as it's consistent. I thought it was a really good game. Miami, oh my gosh, Miami super impressed me, especially on defense, because Indiana's been, hanging 70 on almost anyone, and Miami's D line, especially, they made that Hoosier offensive line look pretty pedestrian when they had handled all the other teams. So credit to Miami, they absolutely deserve to be, the one opposing Indiana in the game. But I think the right team won, and Carson Beck made one too many mistakes on his way to update his LinkedIn profile. So go Hoosiers, and completed the most insane turnaround, I think, in the history of college football.
Maybe in the history of athletics.
It's up there. It's got to be.
Got to be up there. Becky, what did you think of the game?
I thought it was an excellent game. I thought Miami did every single thing correct to beat Indiana. Mendoza was not comfortable. They got pressure on him constantly. They covered the back shoulder throw, which, like, let's call it what it is. Mendoza may be the greatest quarterback to ever execute that play. It's like borderline indefensible at times, but they kept them in check. They did everything correctly. Miami did, and I thought, honest God truth, when it was that 2nd and 1, like 2.5 minutes to go, and they get that false start, and I was like, Indiana doesn't do that. I was like, well, Miami just won probably. I was like, and then the roughing the passer call later, I was like, oh God, here we go. They really are going to lose this game because they just don't do that stuff, right? But at the end of the day, Indiana's special teams were just absolutely better than Miami's, and that was the difference.
Yeah, it just, I mean, just in the iconic moment, 4th and 5, Mendoza runs it, gets not only the first down, stretches for the touchdown. It was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I think that is going to be right up there with Vince Young running to the corner against USC as one of those iconic national championship plays. I got to be honest with you. I'm still a little, it still hasn't quite sunk in for me. A huge congratulations to Indiana. I'm happy for Indiana. Indiana has been down for so long, and to see this story come about, I think that's fantastic for their fan base. Now they can actually charge $1,600 for a night at a hotel room in Bloomington, Indiana, which they are. It used to be that Ohio State would go there. That was a home game basically for Ohio State with the amount of fans that traveled. That's not going to be the case moving forward. They are all in on football in Indiana. Curt Cignetti has done a fantastic job there. One of the greatest turnarounds in sports history, in my opinion. A very good national championship game. And I do give credit to Miami too, man. They did their best. You're right. They game planned perfectly how to defeat Indiana. They just couldn't execute. And I will say this. I agree with you, Pickles. I like letting them play sometimes. There were some hits on Mendoza there that should have been called.
There were 3 in that first half that Cignetti was livid about. And
definitely the one under the chin should have been called.
Should have been called. The one that split his lip. Yeah. I thought it was like both quarterbacks got popped way too much and nothing was called. It's just
it wasn't even.
What got me was they always do it late, guys. Like, if you ever noticed this, like, it's always a random call. They don't do it ever in the first 3 quarters. Suddenly in the 4th quarter, though, there goes the flag. And what are we saying? We're like, oh, now you're calling roughing the passer. Oh, now you're calling pass interference. It's a never-ending cycle for this. But that one under the chin, I was like, honestly shocked that wasn't like immediately called and like at least looked at for targeting. You know, like it looked brutal. It looked like it hurt.
It wasn't so much like the how brutal that individual hit was, but they were like late, balls way gone. Mendoza's just looking downfield and just gets whacked. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but overall, the officials didn't really play a role in it. I mean, they did get that late roughing the passer call. It didn't play much into it. You know, unfortunately for Carson Beck, the game ends as too many of his losses have with an interception.
I mean, that was an inevitable thing. Like the roughing the passer call was legit roughing the passer, guys.
Yeah.
But like you're down a touchdown, you know the quarterback has to eventually force that ball downfield. And he was going to have to take a shot with like 48 seconds. You have no choice. It's go big or go home, right? I just thought it was weird that he underthrew it by like 3 or 4 yards, like really badly underthrew it, and he did not see the safety coming over the top. Like that was the whole play, was the corner knew he could undercut the route because he had the safety over the top. And for whatever reason, Carson Palmer, Beck, he just doesn't recognize where the safeties are. It's multiple times in the game, by the way. Like, he had no idea where the safeties were. When they were playing too high, he had no idea where they were. And he never looked them up.
Sean says, great game. Congrats, Indiana. And Jared Jones says, Fernando.
Oh, did you hear it getting played in the stadium, guys?
During the celebration, they cued the ABBA. It was great.
I'm sorry. If you've got the name Fernando, you have to play that song.
You have to.
Yeah.
And especially when you grow up like 2 miles from it, which, did you see the route? It's not really even 2 miles.
Yeah. Why did they
right across the street?
Why did they dox his parents' house on national TV? What's up with that?
Right. I think that was their former house.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the house they lived in when he was in high school. But yeah, pretty interesting. You just literally could walk to the stadium from his house. So Skaven, yes is here. He says, good evening, gentlemen, and Miss Becky. Good to see you, Skaven. We appreciate you being here. And Mendoza will be first pick. Unfortunately, that pick is the Raiders.
Hey, cap space, guys. Like, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I told Daniel, better Raiders than Jets.
Yeah, Dante Moore actually went back to school to not play for the New York Jets. Let that
He'll be there next year. He'll be there next year, guys. Come on.
Have you?
He's hoping Julian Sayin or one of the Arch Manning is going to fill that Jet slot next season.
This might have been a bot answer. I couldn't really didn't see it anywhere else. Is it true that Mendoza has another year? Because they're like, oh, Cuban could just pay him the same as the first pick salary to come back.
I believe he'd have to, like, it's one of those, he has to apply for the eligibility probably, but.
Oh, yeah, there's no reason to.
I mean, if we've got kids that played in the NBA G League or D League or whatever coming back to college, might as well.
Ridiculous.
By the way, I don't see Mark Cuban going, I'll give you $27 million guaranteed. Because that's what the first pick gets in guaranteed.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a basketball team. Cuban doesn't have a basketball team to worry about anymore. So
he's not Phil Knight rich. Phil Knight's worth $150 billion. He's only worth $6 billion.
Phil Knight's worth $150 billion on paper because he owns the companies.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he have that much cash going around.
And if you're Mendoza, they brought in Hoover. I mean, it's not like they didn't bring in a pretty damn good transfer quarterback from TCU. His little brother transferred the next day after the national championship game. Clarify. He transferred to Georgia Tech, which might be a better situation for him than Indiana is, because he was not going to get a lot of playing time with Josh Hoover coming in for the money they were paying Josh Hoover. So
number one portal class, guys. Number one portal class. Indiana. They're not going anywhere.
This is quite a wild statement considering where we started and all this. I would be shocked if Indiana didn't make the playoff next year. I don't know about win it all, but I would be shocked if they didn't make the playoff.
I agree with you. I think Indiana's definitely a playoff team next year.
Because they've removed all the doubt about their program and Cignetti, right? So like 9-3 in a good conference gets them in.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've survived the injury bug, and they don't play a lot of players. Like,
this is back-to-back years, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's been their biggest thing is, like, like, Moen can attest to this. Ohio State lost their left tackle or center or whatever last year, right? Both, probably. I think it was both, right, Moen?
Yeah,
right?
Before the playoffs.
Yeah. Like, teams lose great players, and Indiana played 13 players on defense every game. Like, that's not a lot of depth, right? So at some point, I would assume that they'll get hit with it. I see them as a playoff team too, but like, they're the only team I've ever seen just stay that healthy for back-to-back years. Like, no O lineman get hurt, no D lineman hurt, like no pulled hamstrings, no pulled quads, nothing minor. So like whatever they're doing needs to be looked at by the other teams because like it's insane. I don't know if you guys picked up on that. Like no major injuries to anybody that's a starter, not one. Just weird to me. So something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's one of these things too with Indiana. I just hope that the fan base does not get their expectation because it's like Ohio State fan. And if Ohio State doesn't win a national championship, the season's a bust completely. You've completely screwed the pooch. You didn't win a national championship. It's natty or bust for Ohio State fans, and that puts a lot of pressure on the people at Ohio State. I just want Indiana fans to remember where you came from. Don't remember where you're at. Got to stay hungry. Got to stay hungry, and don't get too cocky because I've seen some Indiana fans maybe getting a little cocky. Just relax. You got one. We're very proud of you in the Big Ten. Congratulations. We like you guys. We're very proud of you, but don't go crazy next year. If you
Screw
guys
that.
don't
Go cocky. Go cocky.
No,
do it. Like you've been the worst team. They call you the worst team in the history of the Power Four. Go cocky.
I mean, Hoosier Dave is. Yeah, in chat, Hoosier Dave is bringing that some of that traditional Indiana pessimism, and I'm here for it.
Like, yeah. I expect this during basketball season because you're in Indiana.
There's your fun fact. The most recent football and basketball undefeated seasons now belong to the Indiana Hoosiers. How wild is that? National brand Indiana Hoosiers.
How crazy was it that like 13 hours before that game, that kickoff, they were camping outside the bars in Bloomington and around like Indiana to like watch the game. It's like freezing cold temperatures and they're just out there bundled up, sitting in lawn chairs like, all right, we're going to get in here and we're going to watch this game.
How about the fact the stadium, it's Miami Stadium. It's their home stadium. They got the national championship game they're playing in their home stadium. I think it was 60-40 Hoosier fans.
That's what they reported. And I also think I heard this, and I didn't believe it, but I Googled it. It's real. They have the largest alumni base in America. Indiana?
Yes. How is that possible?
I have no idea. I heard it, and I Googled it, and it's actually true. They have the largest alumni base in America.
So they have just like a massive admissions list, and I guess unlike Arizona State, most of them graduate.
I have no idea. I mean, Arizona State's graduate because they opened the door, but like Indiana, I heard that. I looked it up, and yeah, they were talking about it. I was like, they have the largest or one of the largest fan base, like literal alumni bases in America.
Now, see, I've always heard that Ohio State had the largest living alumni base. So I don't know.
It's semantics.
Like it's crazy. Like a million of them.
I mean, Ohio State certainly has the most people who claimed they went to Ohio State out of any school.
That is true. But you got to remember though, there's 14 or 15 Ohio State campuses in the state of Ohio.
But Mo, I just got to say, most of the kids that go to Kent State don't claim it. They still root for the Buckeyes.
Oh, sure.
You don't see that out here. Like, if you went to Washington State, you root for Washington State. Like, if you went to Eastern, you root for Eastern. You don't root for Gonzaga and like Gonzaga and Western Washington are the only schools that can get away, and Evergreen State can get away with it.
The only comparison I can give to people, and I do this all the time, and I'm sure there's other Alabama's probably similar. It's like a religion here in the States. So every kid grows up looking at Ohio Stadium as the Sistine Chapel, and the head coach is the Pope, and you're just kind of raised on that. It's beaten into you as a kid. Some kids
it's
love it and stay at Ohio.
You are the pro team.
That's true. We have terrible pro teams in Ohio, but some kids just adapt to it and take to it, and then there's the other kids that absolutely hate it, and they become Michigan Wolverine fans just because they're want to be different from what the normal or the standard is here in Ohio.
I mean, Charles Woodson's from Ohio.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to my guys standing strong out there for Toledo. Let's go.
Toledo Rockets. Jason Candle did a wonderful job with them. Sean wants to know, you start paying these kids more money than NFL first rounders. Is it going to piss off the NFL? What do you guys think?
No, because like the NFL doesn't want to do the development work. It's easier to get a guy ready to play, right? Like they don't want to develop you. They just want plug and play. When you're the number one pick in the draft and a quarterback, it's plug and play, right? Like I think it's been like kind of a shift since Newton and them came in, because they all came, like Newton and like Locker came in and they were okay to play, like not great, but like good enough. And then you had the 2012 class with Luck, Wilson, and RG3. And it's just been like everybody wants that kind of success. And you get it with Burrow. You got it with, Mahomes. I think they're okay with them staying longer. I mean, it is a gamble, though. Wouldn't you guys agree? It's a little bit of a gamble because if you have a piss poor year or you get hurt.
Well, I mean, it's going to be dependent on the team. Like right now, I'm sure the Jets are pissed. The Jets have the number 2 pick. They need a quarterback. I don't think there's They need a lot. They need a lot, but I don't think there's a quarterback in this draft outside of Mendoza that is worthy of a top 5 pick.
And there's always some random quarterback. Like remember Mahomes? Like nobody would have thought Mahomes was a top 10 quarterback, and then the draft, everything came around. They started talking about it, but like I'm positive there's another quarterback that's in this draft that we're not thinking about. That's probably going to be okay.
But could you justify using a top 5 pick on that person?
No,
not knowing because we didn't know about Mahomes. We knew Mahomes had talent. It's the same thing. The kid that San Francisco drafted and they never ended up. Trey Lance, I think that was his name.
Yeah, they ended up
he was the next. Yeah, he was the next Patrick Mahomes, and they took him with the number 2 overall pick. And right now, Brock Purdy is the starter. The kid from Iowa State, I think they took in the 7th round. So
Mr. Irrelevant himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
but I mean, like you never know, and then you get quarterbacks that, like come out of the like blue, like Malik Willis. There's talk of him now being like he's a free agent and he's probably going to be the starting quarterback of the Dolphins next year or somewhere else. It always happens. And he came out, I think his knee was banged up or something like that from Tennessee, if I remember correctly. Like he tore his ACL and then went in the draft. I think that was him. Might be mistaken.
Yeah, but now I feel bad because I'm afraid that the number 2 pick is probably going to be an Ohio State Buckeye to the Jets.
It's totally going to be a Buckeye defensive player or a lineman from somewhere. It's not a great draft.
Caleb Downs is probably going to be your number 2, either Caleb Downs or Arvell Reese. And he'll go to the Jets, and the Jets will do what they do to every Ohio State player. They'll waste them.
Well, they waste every player.
They waste every player. You're right.
They have a quarterback from Ohio State, and he was worse there than he was a year ago. And
Steve Moser wants to know, we're talking football. Hey, not all of us got great basketball teams, although Ohio State has done fairly well the last couple weeks. So,
although Steve should be happy though, because he's a Jayhawk, right?
Yeah, he's Kansas Jayhawks. So.
Yeah, it's like they're getting ready to start more stadium expansion. If I'm not mistaken, like I think they're getting ready to do some more construction.
Indiana's biggest injury came from celebrating post-game.
I don't know. If you saw those close-ups of Mendoza's arms, he was smashed to pieces.
Yeah, he took a lot of shots. No, I maybe he's talking about that fist fight that, like, with the running back from Miami. And then, I mean, like, That was not a good look for either one of them. Apparently, the Indiana player said something, and it's not. I won't repeat what apparently was said, but because it's not substantiated. But if it
Yeah,
were,
it was said about them, according to one source, which
yeah,
of
grain
course
of
the
salt
sources
here.
right, and it's from a Miami source, which makes me
I question
uh
it anyway because
question it
there was nobody
anyway.
really
But
around it. So
right, regardless of what was said, you never should start throwing a punch, especially when you've got your helmet on and the other guy doesn't.
yeah, that
uh
part.
Everybody's like, yeah, the Indiana player back there. Well, yeah, he had his helmet on. You want him to punch him through the helmet? Um, yeah, not a good look for either team. But I think I'm glad that it has not overshadowed what was a great thing for Indiana.
No, and Fletcher went right up to Mendoza right before that too, and was like, they hugged and they chatted, said something to each other. It was a good game. I was glad there were no fights. There were no real. It wasn't a lot of stupid penalties like we would see random little fights that turn into whatever. And I say that as a Seahawk fan because that's probably going to happen a lot this Sunday. So.
Power to coach who do not win will be reminded that if Cignetti did it, why can't they? More pressure for all teams to win. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I think the Big Ten, for years, it was just the top heavy Big Ten. I don't think it's that way anymore. I think it's definitely, you still got Michigan and Ohio State riding high at the top. But listen, Indiana, Michigan State hiring Pat Fitzgerald. I think Michigan State's going to be significantly better.
Oh, they got a huge donation to help them too.
Yeah. Illinois with Brett Bielema.
Another
Coach
huge
Burt,
donation.
Coach Burt, Washington, of course. Oregon is still chasing that national championship.
Oregon lost next to nothing in terms of starters.
Yeah.
So
they lost a lot of depth, but yeah.
But that depth kind of came into play against Indiana. It really badly came into play against Indiana because they had no running backs essentially. They had to get a guy to he's still in the portal, but they were like, we'll let you play because we don't have anybody else. Oregon, I think, will be the number 1 or number 2 team in the country to start the year, as they should. They bring back everybody. Everybody.
Call me a hater. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not as impressed by Dante Moore as everyone else. Maybe I still remember him at UCLA, and that's why. But he's a really good player. I don't think he's great. I just don't. That's just me.
I mean, the big player and Jared Jones reminded me of Sadiq, but Johnson is still back. They had a 2-headed monster. Again, their only issues will be depth.
Yep.
I tend to agree with Becky. They're going to be one of your top 3 preseason teams. Ohio State, Texas, and Oregon.
I know they will be. I just wouldn't be shocked if they are somewhere in the 5 to 10 range when it's all said and done, rather than the one or 2.
We have to see the schedule release too to see how Oregon schedule lines up for next season, because that could be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how the Big Ten schedules this season coming up.
I will say this: I'm not picking Oregon to win a national title until they figure out their bowl game crap. I don't understand. I actually did the math on this. They are against teams that they play twice in a season. Under Lanning, they are 1-5. They lost to Washington twice. They went 1-1 against Ohio State, and then they got beat by Indiana. And two of those losses, absolute blowouts the second time they played.
Yeah.
I mean, Lanning's got to figure something out. Something's not right when he has to play a team twice. He's not beaten anybody twice in a season. He can't do it. He's had 3 every year. He has 3 shots at it, and they can't do it.
I mean, in retrospect, it's a good thing he didn't make it to Miami, or he'd be doing lines on the side with Michael Irvin.
Let's see. It was their home stadium, but they aren't used to fans in the stands.
That's not true, but
Yeah, I saw a thing online that if they go back, have you seen the picture of like Curt Cignetti's first game and how few fans were there? Someone said every fan that was in attendance at that game should get free season tickets next year because you
Yeah,
believed before everyone else.
it used to be they would wait for the Ohio State game to come along to do photos of actual Bloomington Stadium, because then you could do an overhead photo and it looked red, like because of all the Ohio State fans, and you kind of pass them off as Indiana fans. And now
I
they don't
wonder
have to
if
worry about that.
yeah, I wonder if Northwestern will do that when the Huskies come to town.
I don't know. They've got that new dome. I don't know how you're going to do aerial photographs from that, but it should be
You
interesting.
get this sweet panorama view of just all purple.
I'm really excited to see games in that stadium, by the way.
I am too.
Yeah.
I've told Rock this, like whoever diced that up, nice private piece of land and it's pretty compact, but like 40,000 seats. Miami, like figure it out. You guys have boosters with more money than God. Like you could make it happen.
Outlaw Sky says go Buckeye. Jared Jones confirmed it's true. Indiana's the largest. I think Penn State's a second. Hoosier Dave says it's 809,000 plus.
Good.
And
gravy.
I don't know how it is in the state of Indiana. I know IUPU or IUPUI. I'm sure some of these degrees you're getting are for satellite institutions. They're not all coming through Bloomington. There's just no way. You've probably got like University of Indiana at Gary and University of Indiana, just like we do at Ohio State. So
There's actually what, Becky? There's only
Well-
two Washington satellite campuses, and they're both really tiny.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Indiana University has
Indiana
90,000
University
total
of
students.
Purdue University of
No.
Indianapolis.
This is the Indiana University, just IU, 90,000 students, 48,000 on Bloomington alone.
Oh, so like half. Okay.
Yeah,
I see how
that's
they're.
a lot.
I
That
see
is
how
a
they're cooking the
lot.
books.
But yeah, Washington, you have I think it's in Bothell, and then there's one in Tacoma.
Right, but they're like really small.
But if you go to like UW in Seattle, you can technically take a class at either one. So, like online stuff.
Jared Jones says pretty sure 7 or 8 of the top 10 largest alumni bases are from schools in the Big Ten. That's probably correct. They're large public institutions in the Big Ten, so
Yeah.
they get a lot of kids enrolled.
And they've been around a very, very long time.
Yeah.
What language is in the big revenue sharing agreement that scared Damon Williams Jr. that Duke did not include?
I will tell you what it was. They put it in there that the buyout is at the University of Washington's discretion. So the dollar amount is whatever they choose.
The rumor is they threatened him with the dollar amount was the entire value of the NIL deal, which is like
Yeah.
$4 million or something.
Yeah.
So
maybe
he's
even
just
more.
he's
Might
just
have even more.
that money out of pocket. So another school would have to pay him double just to break even.
Yeah. That was the big thing.
Evil Badger 72, Ryan Willie with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate that. Does anyone know what a contract is? Does anybody know what a catch is? Does anybody know what targeting is? Those have been the two burning questions. Now we have, does anybody know what a contract
Hey,
is?
I thought I knew what a catch was in the NFL, but then there was a drop ball in the Bills-Broncos game, and the same exact one occurred in the Rams-Bears game, but that one was a catch. It was the exact same thing. So I have no idea.
Yeah, Ryan, it's a great question. I don't have an answer for it. Do you have an answer, Pickles?
I mean, no.
Whatever.
I
it's
agree
whatever
to pay
the Big
you
Ten
more.
has them paid.
I mean, I have a contract with my job. They keep paying me. I keep showing up.
Yeah. Same. I got a contract with my job. I just show up.
Yeah. If I don't show
Money
up,
in my bank
they don't
account
pay
every
me.
couple of weeks.
That on a real note though, I've been on the train of they should make athletes employees, at least athletes that are taking NIL deals and are on that end, like your walk-ons that are actually getting the education and that's the primary reason they're there. Let them be student athletes, get all the student benefits. Make the NIL guys that are doing all these transfers paid athletes, put them under contracts that could be 2 or 3 years. Like out of high school, you should have to sign a minimum 2-year contract, not this transferring after redshirting season thing. So that's just me. I think that would straighten out a lot of this.
Bulldog Mississippi's in the house. Good to see you, Bulldog. He says, "Evening Mafia."
Yeah, I asked him if Feinbaum's already got his self-deportation location picked out.
Nobody's talking about college football now. It's all about the pros,
Yeah.
according to Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah.
Dave's here clarifies it's top 5 are Indiana, Penn State, Michigan, UCLA, and Ohio State.
Okay, is that UCLA cooked by the entire UC
No.
system? Okay.
No, it's not. No.
Well,
If it were, it would be the largest.
I was like, yeah, UC Irvine, Chico, UT, like, so that's just UCLA proper.
Yeah.
That's shocking,
UCLA,
actually.
I don't know if you realize. I don't think you realize how many students go to UCLA.
Well, I know they have a lot of students, but their campus is tiny.
Yeah, but it's a lot.
Late to the party. This is Fergie, our friend Fergie. Late to the party, so sorry. Great game, and I'm truly touched by Mendoza's mom. My aunt passed from MS, and I teared up almost every time they showed her SCO buffs. Yeah, it was a great story. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously not a great story having MS, but having MS, but still having the faculty to be able to come and see her son win a national championship, win a Heisman trophy. That's, it was a great story. I don't know if anybody saw the feature before the game, but it's, yeah.
No, I thought it was great. Like when he won the Heisman, he was talking to his mom, and then he switched to Spanish so his grandparents could understand him. Loved it. Loved everything about that family. Like, although I will say this, can we stop giving the kid a microphone? He's the cheesiest talking person.
Let's fucking go. I believe there's 9 real UW satellite campuses.
Emphasis on mowing saying UW. That's not how we say it up here in the Great Pacific Northwest.
Oh, I got you. I got you, Ryan.
It's Wisconsin.
Yes.
It's Wisconsin.
Yes.
I know my sister-in-law went to UW Green Bay.
I believe is it the coach of Kansas or Kansas State went to like UW Whitewater? Something like that?
Yeah, Kansas. Leopold. He was the coach at UW Whitewater, and they won 3 national championships.
So when Fickle gets fired this year, Mr. Evil Badger, there's your guy. Have at it.
Some of the satellite schools take football seriously there in Wisconsin, Ryan. You're right. Thanks for the super chat, Ryan. I appreciate it, even though that went over my head. But let's see here. Don't forget Wisconsin, Mo, and I won't forget Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
Yeah,
In fact,
Ryan Willie will never let us forget Wisconsin.
yeah, I'll go ahead and play the real UW's fight song. Just such an upbeat song,
High energy for sure.
High energy.
Which is funny
Especially
because
when you pitch it up.
by the time they play it in the stadium, everyone's so blitzed, I doubt they could keep pace.
Just as long as they've got enough to jump around in the third quarter.
There you go.
If there was a Mount Rushmore of college football coaches who worked their way up lower ranks and took historically bad teams to unexpected new heights, who would we be in? Cignetti. See, I wouldn't put Leopold in there yet.
No. He took Kansas from really bad to like competitive.
But I think I would put Mangino above Leopold at Kansas.
I would put Mangino above. Yeah, he went 11-1 that year, right?
Yeah,
Why am I
11-1?
Why am I blanking on the guy? He's currently the Boston College head coach, took over for Penn State. I think
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien took a program that was just not only bad, but just disgraced and actually turned it into something respectable.
Yeah, but I don't know that he came really from nowhere. He was a
True.
coordinator in the NFL at
I
that point.
I will give you a name. I think it works. Pickles may not like it, but
I know
Kalen
what you're gonna
DeBoer.
say.
Kalen DeBoer.
She's right.
And,
That's why I'm annoyed.
and you can look. When he's the offensive coordinator at Eastern Michigan. They had their best offensive season statistically ever. And then he did it at Indiana. He went
Yeah.
to Fresno State, and he won. He damn near beat Oregon at Oregon that year, which is like
Yeah.
crazy.
In a-
And then he went to UW, and we all know what happened.
In a 3-season span, he went from the coach of Fresno, playing for a national championship at Washington, and then making back-to-back playoffs as the head coach of Alabama to succeed Saban. That's a hell of a rise.
Also, he had like 2 or 3 national titles at the NAIA level.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Some South Dakota school. I forget which one.
yeah, I can't remember which one.
Schnellenberger from Miami.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you have to do that because obviously Miami was nothing until he got there and started recruiting. And now they have 5 national championships. They just competed for one. Jim Tressel came from Youngstown State, from Mount Union before that. He was
about-
a graduate.
But you're taking over a top program, so like
You
I mean
are.
you can't.
Well, coming off the John Cooper years, it wasn't a top program. It was a 7-5 program.
Everything is relative. I mean, you still made a bowl game, Owen. Becky and I remember 0-12.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just saying we're talking about guys that came from nowhere. And
Okay, in that
I mean,
case,
I might go.
I guess he doesn't fit because it's not a historically bad team.
right.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I might go Switzer because he was a coordinator, a running backs coach, and a coordinator. That was it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
but
but that's-
Oklahoma
again-
had been
He was
good.
never a head coach prior to that. Like,
right, but it wasn't a historically bad team.
I guess, yeah, unexpected new heights is the thing for me where it's like your team has to be like historically looked at. Like Indiana was considered one of the worst power teams in
I'll give you a
all of
name.
college football forever.
What's his name? Bear Bryant. He came from nowhere because he had Kentucky, he had A&M, he had Alabama. Like everywhere he went, won. Like,
Yeah, Alabama wasn't what we think of today before Bear Bryant. So
yeah.
That's a great question, Mr. Ed. We might have to ponder
that's
on
a
that
that's
one
an
a little
off-season
more.
video type question.
That is an off-season video who you'd put on that Mount Rushmore. And I'm sure that probably 3 of the names would be ones that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Because it would be guys from like 1920s and 30s.
Right. Gil Dobie.
Phil Dovey
No, Gil Dobie.
or
He
Gil
never
Dovey.
lost
That's
a
right.
lot. He's the only
Yeah.
guy. He's the only head coach to never lose a single game and be fired.
But wasn't one of their wins against like Seattle YMCA or something?
It's 120 years ago. What do you expect?
Yeah.
He still went undefeated for 10 years and got fired.
Yeah. You got to
Good stuff.
remember, Ohio State won their first national championship against the Iowa Seabees.
Love it. Yes.
Northwestern is making a dope-ass stadium. You're absolutely right. I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to pee all over it because that's all Ohio State fans do there. IUPUI went under, didn't it? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't checked recently. I don't keep track. But I know there is an IUPUI. They do play in the basketball tournament.
Yeah, I've never had a reason to go to Indianapolis, and I don't believe that would sway me.
Kaylani says, Indiana came up with that. Rutgers and Maryland wait to host Ohio State when they take pictures of the football stadium for pamphlets too. Yes, there's a great Lee Corso as coach at Indiana story where he was playing Ohio State. They received the ball, went down and scored a touchdown. He gathered everybody for a shot underneath the scoreboard that said Indiana 7, Ohio State 0. Woody Hayes ended up putting 56 points on him.
I mean, side note, I hope Lee Corso is doing well enough to have fully enjoyed last night because I bet he did.
They reported that he loved it.
That's good. I'm glad.
This is funny because Maryland sold out for the first time in like 5 or 6 years when Washington came to town this year. They took a ton of photos of the stadium while
like
that
purple,
game was going.
Yeah, Washington just takes pictures of the Oregon game, and it's always half and half.
Oregon does the same.
Why is the Big 12 moving their conference championship games to Friday night this year? I think they're trying to get away from competing against the SEC and the Big 10 championship games. Because I believe they overlap, don't they?
They do, and what people have been doing is turning off one game to turn on the other.
Yeah. Bomber thinks steroids should be legal. Why can't Michael Irvin get them coked up? It's Irvin's NIL contribution. LOL. I didn't know Bomber thought steroids should be legal. For competitive sports, I don't think they should be. Listen, if you're a pro wrestler doing steroids, I don't care. It's a fixed match. And it's your own health.
Yeah.
And if you want to destroy your heart and your liver and everything else, doing steroids to look all jacked up, go for it.
I mean, if you want to grow boobs and you want to have shriveled balls, take your steroids.
Yes. Ask the Rock had a certain surgery that totally happened because of not steroids.
Yep. Although I will say baseball was better when everybody was roided up. Saying.
Yeah, but that's because the game is naturally kind of slow. I don't need wide receivers going 57,000 miles an hour and then spearing straight into like the goalpost or something.
What you'll get when they have their Coke?
Since Denver's QB is hurt, Florida State fans wants to know if Denver is still in the playoffs. Sorry, guys. Kirk Herbstreit said it's a case that they deserve to be in the playoffs still, but Florida State doesn't.
This isn't a commentary on Florida State, but in Denver's defense, their quarterback is not the reason they made the playoffs.
No. And I did hear that they offered the spot to Florida State, but they declined.
Yeah. Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Game? I don't remember.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts Bowl for you.
Future Senator Fernando Mendoza. That's probably true. Fernando Mendoza could just start a recall petition to get rid of the governor of Indiana, and they would elect him. So
after this week, he could probably get any elected position he wants in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, ironically, as a probably a native Floridian, I doubt he could get elected there now.
Just needs an address.
Miami fans never forgive him.
Greg will have to sing "On Wisconsin" if Minnesota loses the Axe game. I don't know if that's necessarily hearing Greg sing "On Wisconsin" is a good thing. Hearing Greg sing in general, my dog goes off every time Greg sings. So just let me know in advance, Greg, when you're going to do that, because I think Wisconsin does beat Minnesota this year. And when that happens, let me know in advance so that way I can put my dog in the kennel so he doesn't run away.
Yeah, I reserve thoughts on that game entirely. Tell me who's playing quarterback, and then I'll make a judgment. Because I'm not sure either team really knows yet.
Boy, poor Wisconsin if they lose another quarterback to injury early in the season. What's the chance Nebraska cracks the top 5 this next week in basketball? Well, Nebraska is a historic basketball school, remember?
They're going to lose tonight, so it's not going to happen.
They're doing a reverse Indiana. They were a great football program, but they couldn't get it done. Now they're focusing on basketball.
I'm just saying they're going to lose tonight. Washington's going to beat them.
Are we playing them? Is that the whole business tonight?
Yeah. It's at Lincoln, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Indiana is not only the greatest turnaround, it's the quickest, and according to the poll,
yes,
64% voted yes. Indiana is the greatest turnaround in sports history.
They're going to make a movie about that. Like, it's going to be.
Oh, they should, because not only winning it and like 2 seasons. I think they had 3 wins before he got hired.
Yeah, they were 3.
You're going from 3 wins to undefeated 12-team playoff. Conference champion, national champion, like undisputed best team in college football this year. No arguments whatsoever.
Yeah.
Sonny Dykes came very close to being on this list if things had gone differently in 2022. I don't know. Are we considering TCU a historically bad football program?
I mean, in the Southwest Conference, they were like
No.
okay. They were just like a
Yeah, they're
middling,
not
kind of middling
good.
team.
Right. But I mean, like, historically bad is
Well,
what
I
I
mean,
mean.
like they were bad when they fired Patterson and hired Dykes, but
They,
like
they were bad enough they got sent to the Big East and the Mountain West at one point. I mean, come on.
that is true. They were in the Big East for all of 5 minutes, and then they
Yeah.
had to go
Yeah,
back to the Big Mountain West.
they were pseudo relegated before that was a thing. So maybe Sonny Dykes is in
Maybe.
contention, I'd say.
IUPUI did go under, and now there's an IUI and a PUI. The more you know. Do they share facilities?
Right?
It's just a line down the middle of the classroom.
That side's the broke side. This side's the rich side. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood that when I lived in Indianapolis. IUPUI never made any sense to me how you could be an Indiana Purdue graduate, but okay,
I mean, at that point, just call it State College of Indiana and call it,
right.
good enough.
Well, back then they didn't care. Both teams were so bad. Now
Yeah,
you're
but you
like,
think they'd
oh,
kind of. I assume they both specialize in certain degrees, and then one would do one and one would do the other, but still very odd. Washington and Wazoo would never share a campus
I'm like,
like that.
is Purdue an engineering school? I feel like they'd be an engineering school. Called the Boilermakers. I would assume they're an engineering school of some
I
kind.
would think so. I don't know, Moen. Are they? I know
Like
Iowa's
Xavier.
considered the engineering school.
No, Purdue's an engineering school.
No.
Okay,
That's what Purdue does. Purdue is the Georgia Tech of the North.
nice.
Glenn Hanna 8 says Hoosiers 2. There's your movie.
Just call it.
Literally.
You should just title it Fernando.
Yeah, we need it to be a little more Oscar baity. So
Oh my gosh, no, we need to come up with a list of what famous actor would play each person. Who's going to play Mendoza? Who's going to play Curt Cignetti? Be so good. Video idea right there.
yeah, Mendoza. You got to get a young actor for Mendoza. And you know what's funny? I actually noticed this week, and I thought it was funny. You know who looks kind of like Fernando Mendoza? Wild You.
Oh,
Slightly.
slightly.
If he was
Slightly. Got the
if he
same
was about
face
6
shape.
inches taller, yeah.
Yeah. But
Is he the white Mendoza?
uh,
No, he's
I guess.
more Mendoza.
More Mendoza. Oh my God.
He's the Mormon Mendoza. Well, let's move on. We've talked enough about Indiana, I think. Congratulations to Indiana. Let's talk about this Mensah story. Mensah, the quarterback for Duke, signed a deal with Duke. Last day of transfer portal. Tries to jump in the portal. Duke obviously doesn't like that. Files a temporary restraining order against him, which has been upheld so far. Basically says we'll enter you in the transfer portal, but you can't go. We'll enter you in the portal, but you can't go to another school. You can't play football at that school, and we own all your NIL rights.
I mean, basically saying like you can go to whatever school you want for academics, but you're only going to play for us. Kids should never. I mean, I hate to say this, but this is where hey, they're 19 to 20 years old, and I don't agree with some of these judges' takes that I've heard of. Oh, they don't fully comprehend the weight of these contracts, blah blah blah. It's like, well, you're paying them the money, and they're grown adults. They're over the age of 18, so it's called consequences. And if you put your name down and there's some kind of actual enforcement available, like Washington had with Damon Williams, it's like, yeah, you owe us the money. Then sorry, I don't have a ton of sympathy. You asked for players to get paid, and that's great. I'm totally on board with that. But there's another side to that coin where it's you got to honor your word if you sign a deal.
What do you think, Becky?
So like, so here's the thing. Like, clearly, he's still in the portal and refusing to go back to school because this actually got to the courts. Williams and Washington, that never made it to the courts. What I am thinking, though, is, again, maybe it's probably a situation like with Williams where the agent had nothing to do with everything that happened after it got signed. It's these advisors. Let's kick the advisors to the curb. No more advisors, right? The NFL has actual rules on who can and cannot be an agent. Like, you have to have a master's degree in order to be an agent. I think, we shouldn't be allowing these advisors. And I think the advisors are the problem because they're shopping the contracts after the kids sign them. So whether, yes, we got to hold the kid accountable, but like, these guys have nothing to do with, like, they're getting away with basically all of this stuff. And these kids are the ones that are going to have to pay the price. In Damon Williams' case, it was an advisor who shall not be named, who apparently shopped the contract after he signed it, found a better deal from another school, and told him to enter the portal. I guarantee you this is the same thing that happened to this Duke kid, but this time the kid's put his foot down because his lawyer has said, no, there's no teeth to this contract, but I can guarantee you there's something in that contract. Like Washington's, there's something there.
Like, look, of all the schools, why I think Duke lawyers would have enough sense to put some kind of teeth into an agreement, but
between them and Stanford, no. No.
Yeah,
like
I just wouldn't do it.
do it.
Walton Goggins can play Cignetti. That's not a bad pick. I kind of like it. He's a little too young, though, I think, for it. He would have to be aged up a little bit. What do you guys think? Walton Goggins is Cignetti?
Too much charisma. Can't do it. I mean, Cignetti's funny, but he's like unintentionally funny.
Yeah, he's kind of almost like a Vulcan from Star Trek. He just like
I mean, yeah. The memes
no
today
emotion.
of this thing have been so good. I've sent my wife like several of them. Like me looking for which line to go in the checkout. So good.
Mississippi Bulldogs still thinks he wins the lawsuit. I think we're going to find out, but
he lost the first part.
He lost the first part.
Well, he lost today.
TRO. He lost the TRO. So
he has to stay enrolled in school. He has to stay at Duke right now.
The truth is, Duke has more time and money than him. They could probably just wait him out and make it so annoying that it's not worth it.
No. Here's the thing. Again, they do not have to be paid. He can just unenroll and enroll somewhere else and be a walk-on. He just cannot get paid.
Yeah,
that's going to be his next step.
But in that instance, I'm guessing Duke is no longer obligated to pay him either.
No, he won't be getting paid. If he's not enrolled.
Okay.
But what Duke's trying to do is force him to stay on the campus, whether he does that or not.
This is just going to cause such a bad situation, no matter what the resolution is.
No. This is what's needed. This is, unfortunately, since Congress won't step up, we have to rely on the courts to kind of like, is this enforceable? Is this not? Right? Like, there's no precedence.
I've heard a phrase before. It's like that Congress has a usual tactic of taking a crap sandwich and all they do is add mayonnaise. I feel like that's kind of what their act was doing. Does it taste slightly better than a crap sandwich? Yeah, but fundamentally, still a crap sandwich.
I mean, they would have to actually pass a law, which they don't really do very often. That's the problem.
That's a topic for another day. But the NCAA, NCAA had the ability. I don't know how much ability they still have to put guardrails on this thing, but like somebody has to. It's just this is totally not sustainable. You're going to have literal players suing institutions at some point, even just beyond the contracts sucks. It's going to get totally out of control.
The NCAA is in court now because of eligibility.
Right.
Like,
but I just mean fundamentally for like NIL and, playing for a team and honoring the transfer portal.
I'm just saying, like, eligibility and everything, the NCAA is getting their ass kicked in every facet of every rule that they have right now by the courts. Like, they're not winning anything. I think they randomly won one case, but, like, when a guy can go to the G League, play for like 3 years, sign 2 or 3 different contracts, and go, you know what? I'm going to go back to Alabama 3 years later. Where does it stop? Like, the contracts have to have teeth. At some point, someone has to sit there and say, this is a contract. Like you said, Pickles, there are consequences for this. And if I hear anybody else say, well, what about the coaches? They can leave whenever they want. They have buyouts, people. They have buyouts. He can,
and there's
shop around as a head coach at the University of Washington. I can go sign a contract at Syracuse, but Syracuse is going to pay whatever that buyout is in that contract.
Yeah, and there's terms in there's terms in those for them being fired without pay too. Just ask Michigan State and Michigan.
Northwestern.
And Northwestern, yeah. There's legally binding things in these deals.
Yeah.
He has the same lawyer as Xavier Lucas. Miami is dirty, in my opinion. Duke is trying to get Miami to pay a buyout. I think part of the problem here, Ryan, is desperation. FOMO has completely screwed up the marketplace for players.
Yeah.
When Miami whiffed on everybody and they saw how much talent they had coming back, they panicked and just threw a number out there. Like, I think $7 million was the number I heard.
Yeah.
$7 million to get Mensah to come.
I heard 6.5, 7. Yeah.
$6.5 to $7 million. So
Miami got caught up in being part of the whole playoff deal and forgot that there's still an off season going on. I mean, for better or worse, because they're going to have tons of dudes go to the NFL.
I mean, it's not a good look for Miami, but I mean, at this point, I don't know who really tries to protect their image anymore in college athletics, even.
Only Notre Dame, but none of us believe it.
Yeah. Michigan, but we all know that that's not true. So I don't know. Ryan, I tend to agree with you. It's not a good look for Miami that you've got the Xavier Lucas situation. Now you have the Mensah situation. I don't know where the Xavier Lucas Wisconsin thing is in the courts.
Yeah. By the way, Damon Williams hired the same attorney. And he was like, go back to Washington. So, like, there was nothing. So,
well, apparently he thinks there's something here that he can.
There's something. Like, it's clearly, apparently, Duke doesn't have something in their contract that Washington had.
Yeah.
We can only speculate as to probably what it was, but we don't know.
I said this earlier, and I think that part of it is the full weight of the Big Ten, like, step behind Washington was like, yeah, you're not doing this. You're not leaving. This is the contract template that everyone in the Big Ten uses that we all agreed to. So if you're able to break it, then any of our players are, and that's partially why Williams backed down. I mean, Mo and this is
Miami. They're not going to do it because it's the same.
Yeah. I mean, Mo, and this is a case, if anything, for the Big Ten to add Stanford just so we can have their lawyers for these NIL things.
We would try it. If Stanford would join the Academic Alliance, it'd be here today.
I know. They'd have a better team, too.
And you know what? I don't think Miami cares. I really don't think Miami cares anymore.
They're pushing they're pushing the limit because there's no limit, really.
Right. And I think they've embraced the role of villain. And I think, hey, that's fine because, I mean, that's when Miami was great, when they were the villains. So when they would just go out there and let's be honest, they bought recruits. We all did.
Everybody was doing it.
Everybody was doing it. But, Luke Skywalker, Uncle Luke was taking them out on yacht parties and paying contracts for good hits and contracts for interceptions. You got rewards. So, I mean, I don't think Miami really cares, Ryan. I think that to an extent, enjoy that image of themselves. So that is the U.
I mean, this would all be easy if they were just employee contracts. They're not.
Well,
they're name, image, likeness. It's
a contract that violates laws is illegal and unenforceable. And then Dave's here follows up and says employment contracts are a bitch to enforce.
Yeah. It has to have clearly defined entry and exit stipulations, which is why DeMont got stuck, because it's like, if you leave, we get to choose what you pay us.
And let's be real, every single state is freaking different.
Yeah.
They're all different because it's like 50 countries. You know, that's the best way to describe this country. 50 individual countries with one federalized system. And none of these fall under that.
Yeah. I'm generally not a fan of federal government, but this is one instance because it's, cross-country conferences where I think you need a federal standard of some kind.
Well, trying to get anything done in the government at this point is fruitless. So,
yeah.
I think the conferences need to separate and come up with their own established rules, and everybody plays by the rules or nobody plays. And I think the Big Ten and the SEC have to take the lead on that, but Big Ten and the SEC can't agree on anything right now. So who knows? We're just going to have to let the courts decide it for now. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show, guys. I think we talked about Indiana. We covered the Mensah situation pretty thoroughly. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to touch on this week?
Nope, just Hoosiers bask in the glory, because I hate to say it, you never know when you'll be back. It's a new world in college football, and truly anyone can win.
Yeah. What about you, Becky? What's your one for the road, as Sergeant Pickles coined?
I just want to point out that we're going to get some Maction inside the Ford Stadium. Can't remember what it's called, in Ford Field.
Ford Field, yeah.
Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan, I think this year and next year, we're going to be playing there as a neutral site. Should be a lot of fun. I hope it's on a Tuesday.
Maction in the Motor City. I just wish they had picked better teams for it. I think there were better teams you could do in the MAC for that. But again, Glenn Hanna says, I'm worried that Indiana just started at 10, Pete.
The way they play football, like, good God.
I've heard a lot of Iowa fans coining themselves the next big team to win it, so we'll see.
I don't know. It seems to be in a very small radius at the moment. Columbus, Bloomington, Ann Arbor.
It's a 300-mile radius.
Yeah, I wonder who the next closest would probably be. Purdue, and I don't see Purdue.
Not in 2 years.
Does it barely clip Northwestern? That'd be good.
Yeah, Northwestern I think would be, well, Michigan State would probably be closer than Northwestern.
I think it is important to recognize that Cignetti told a lot of dudes get lost from that Indiana team they took over.
Yeah.
But one of the heroes caught one of the wide receivers stuck around. Becker, and he caught some of the biggest balls of the year. He went out there and played outstanding when other guys were having cases of the drop C's and things like that. Absolutely insane. Again, they might go on a 10-peat because that might be the most disciplined football team I've ever freaking seen play. They just don't commit penalties. They don't do stupid things. They never start behind the sticks. They just don't do it. It's so rare. And Miami actually got them to do it more often, I think, than anybody else. I am still mesmerized by them. By the way, can I say this since we're doing this? Indiana winning forced ESPN to try to figure out how to talk about the SEC. So with less than 12 hours later, are they better than 2019 LSU? I want to point that out. Did you guys catch that?
It never ends.
Everything's been, are they better than 2019 LSU? I don't know, guys. They haven't had anybody drafted yet. Can we wait a minute?
Sean says Notre Dame's in that region too, but Notre Dame can't win a national championship. They haven't won one since 1988.
I mean, they just won in January for the first time ever, just to get blown out by.
I mean, like 4 members of the Big Ten Mafia have national championships more recent than Notre Dame. So come on now.
That's true. Washington, Miami.
See, Washington, Miami, Colorado, BYU is 84, so just barely missed it. But that and Ohio State.
Yeah. Well, and Ute will tell you that because one poll said that Utah was national champion, that Utah has one national
2008 Alex Smith Utah. Let's go.
That wasn't Alex Smith.
Was it?
No, Alex Smith was already in the NFL.
I thought that was Alex Smith last year.
Nah.
My bad.
I can't remember who it was. Smith, he was in the NFL in 05.
But yeah, they're doing the Oregon thing where they the Collie Matrix said they were the best team, or like UCF. When UCF went undefeated, they were like top of some random poll. Right. Yeah, so undefeated season, go for it. Yeah.
I'm just saying, Notre Dame.
You can piss off Oregon fans.
As they say, hang the banner.
Just pointing out again, Indiana did what Oregon's been trying to do for 30 years. Indiana did in 2. And let me just point this out. Oregon's had like $1 billion invested in them. Indiana's had maybe $100 million. Maybe.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Just as a programming reminder, tomorrow, new members only video dropping, a new Mo and Confidential about leverage in the 12-team, 16-team, 24-team playoff models and where we stand at that currently. And then on Friday, we will have a big freaking Friday show. So for myself, for Sergeant Pickles, for Becky, I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight and joined us on the tape. We appreciate you. We will catch you a little later. Peace out.